Alright guys, so every year covering as many earbuds as I do, there's usually always one budget pair that stands out amongst the rest. Like it just offers a lot of features or it just has a particular sound and the value of it just kind of blows away all of these others. And we've seen them from Edifier, we've seen them from Soundpeats, we've seen them from Earfun, and just like all different companies. And the pair that we're gonna check out today, which is the QCY MeloBuds Pro, may just be that pair for 2024. Now we are just past the halfway mark of 2024, so there is still a good bit of time to go, but I haven't quite seen a pair this year that has these features and also has the sound that these do. So we're gonna talk about all of that, but let's go ahead and start with the price tag. Now they only normally retail for $49, although right now on Amazon, they do have a little coupon box you can check off, which brings them all the way down to $40. So we're gonna say that these are gonna normally be somewhere between $40 to $50. And once you hear all of the features and everything that these have, you'll see why I think this is a hell of a value. Now to start with, these are using large 12mm biofram drivers. That is a fairly large driver for a closed earbud, one that's using silicone ear tips. This is something you normally see in more of the open ear style, like regular AirPods. So I was impressed to see that they're using a large driver like this in these. Now it is also high-res wireless certified because it has LDAC playback. Again, one of the best Bluetooth codecs you can get, and that's very surprising to see LDAC on a pair this inexpensive. LDAC was always like in the more expensive brands back in the day. It is becoming a little bit more available now. It's not just like tied to Sony products. So it is nice to see it in this price point. This pair also has adaptive hybrid active noise canceling. It has different modes, which we'll talk about a little bit later. It does have multi-point connections, so you can connect to more than one device at a time. And if you're somebody that uses your earbuds for media, it also has a gaming mode so that you can cut down as much lag as you can possibly cut down. And this is good for gaming and movies and TV shows. So already with feature-wise, you can see this is a lot to get on a pair of earbuds that right now you can pick up for $40. Now, as far as the overall design and the look, they do come available in both black and white. Now, I have the white version here, and I can kind of see that it has like a pearl look to it. It has a little bit of a shine. There's only QCY branding up front. On the bottom, you have your USB-C input next to your pairing button. And then when you open it up, you can see that these are stem style design earbuds. Now, stem style design are still not my favorite. I've gotten more used to them because this has become a little bit more common. In fact, we've seen even the new Samsung Galaxy Buds switch over to stem style design over the normal earbud. So I think this is just something that's kind of becoming the norm. So I've definitely gotten a little more used to it. These are using touch controls. And I will say that out of the box, you don't have control over everything. You actually need to go into QCY's app, which is actually a very impressive app. They give you so many different features and controls that I was quite surprised. And speaking of the controls, you can go in, switch some things around, and you can get these to control everything. Also within the app, this is how you would keep these updated. There are some EQ options in here along with spatial audio, which I've said this before, some people really enjoy spatial audio. I am not a fan of this. I found that this pair does a decent job here. It's just still not something I would personally use. Also within the app, you can turn wear detection on and off. So these do have where it will pause when you take them out of your ears, or it'll just go back to what you're listening to once you put them back in, or you could just turn it off altogether. Also within the app, this is where you would turn your gaming mode on. This is also where you would turn the multi-point connection on, because out of the box, these have the LDAC mode where you're getting the highest Bluetooth codec you can get, but you cannot use multi-point connection and LDAC at the same time. This is something that's very common with any earbuds that use LDAC. It's something to do with Bluetooth not being able to handle both at the same time. Now, it also has a sleep mode, which essentially will disable your touch controls so you can sleep, lay on your side. You don't have to worry about it pausing your music or skipping your music. And it will shut them off out of sleep mode once you put them back in the case. And I think this is kind of interesting because a lot of people do like to sleep with their earbuds in, So to just disable the touch controls until you put them back in the case is actually pretty nice. There is also a Find My Earbuds feature. And like I said earlier, you can also go within the app and switch between the different noise canceling modes. They have 4 different modes here. They have an indoor mode, so if you're just gonna be using them at your house or inside somewhere, this is what you would use. There's an outdoor mode, which again, I think is kind of self-explanatory. You would use it if you're just gonna be out and about walking around. There is a commute mode, so if you're gonna be in an area where there's a little bit more traffic, you want to kind of dull that out, this is the mode you would use here. And there's also a wind blocking mode. So if it's a windy day, you would switch it into here and it'll keep the wind from affecting your audio. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this, the noise canceling on these is actually quite impressive. I use these while cutting the grass and it toned down the lawnmower quite a bit. It does a really good job against lower tones like that, like AC units, engine noises, and it actually does a pretty decent job against people talking and anything that has like a higher tone to it. So I would definitely not compare these noise canceling wise to Sony or Bose or Sennheiser or anything like that. But in this price range, it's gonna be hard to find noise canceling that's gonna block out as much as these do. And the transparency mode on here is also very good. I felt like it was able to pick up things around me pretty natural. It didn't sound overly artificial, and I could easily carry on a conversation without actually having to take the earbuds out. Now, if you are going to use these outdoors, it does come with an IPX5 rating, so it does a pretty decent job against blocking out rain and sweat and splashes and things like that. But if you do just drop them into water, that's probably going to damage these, so do keep that in mind. And then as far as what all they've included in the box, it does come with small, medium, and large silicone ear tips, and it also comes with this really tiny USB-C cable, so you have to be really close to, whatever you're going to be charging these with. But speaking of the charging, battery life is also very impressive on these. If you're going to use these with the noise canceling off and the LDAC off, you can get about 8.5 hours out of the earbuds, with about 34 hours using the case. If you're going to use these with the noise canceling on, it's going to drop it down to 7.5 hours on the earbuds and about 30 hours using the case, which that's not actually using a whole lot of power there. And then if you're going to use LDAC, it's going to drop it quite a bit more. So do keep all of that in mind. But there is also a fast charge feature if you do happen to pick the earbuds up and they are dead, you didn't charge them previously or whatever. And a 10-minute charge will get you 1 hour of use. Now that's not very impressive. We've seen fast charging that's much better on other pairs, but it's still nice that a 10-minute charge will give you an hour, especially if you're just gonna go on a walk or a run. That's gonna be fine for most people. Now, if you are gonna use these for taking phone calls, it is using 6 microphones total to focus in on your voice, but also block out a lot of the things around you. And I was pretty impressed here, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
All right, guys, so here is the mic test using the QCY MeloBuds Pro. Like I said, I think it picks up everything fairly clear. I don't notice a whole lot of digital noise, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound, because yes, it is extremely nice that this pair has all of the features that we've talked about to this point, but it is the sound that still separates these from all of the other budget earbuds that we've tested to this point. The sound is so impressive, and I think it goes back to the large 12mm drivers that these have. They are very powerful, so it doesn't seem like it's ever holding anything back, especially when it comes to the low end. This pair has plenty of punch to it. It even at times can have that subwoofer type feel, but somehow, even though they're just using a single driver, it still does not roll over the mids and the treble. I feel like mids on this pair sound fantastic. Vocalists just stand out. The vocalists kind of feel like they're a step or two up front. So, all the instruments and everything that's going on, it doesn't feel like everything just kind of blends or bleeds together. Same thing with the treble. Treble has plenty of detail to it without sounding overly harsh. There's no sibilant sound in the S's. It's not overly bright, but it is extremely detailed. It seems like this is a pair that has drivers that are handling the lows, the mids, and the treble completely separate because of how well it keeps these from sounding congested or muddy. Now, when it comes to the soundstage and the sound imaging, because these have that very dynamic type sound, I felt like it wasn't as wide open as some other earbuds that I've tested, but I would definitely still say it's more leaving you feeling like you're in a medium to large size room. And it does a really good job of being able to tell where different sounds are coming from. And overall, my opinion is this. This pair is $40 to $50. Again, we're gonna say that it's somewhere in that range. And really the only complaints that I have is, one, I'm still not the biggest fan of stem style design earbuds, but that's just a personal preference. And I do wish that the case was a Qi wireless charging case, but that's just because I've become spoiled and kind of used to all of these other earbuds that have a Qi wireless charging case. But outside of that, there's really not much or anything to complain about. You're getting high-res, wireless certified LDAC playback. You're getting very impressive battery life. You're getting really good noise canceling that has different levels of noise canceling. You're getting a good ambient mode, and the sound on these is just so impressive. I would say, just based off sound alone, this would be one of the best, if not the best, budget pair of earbuds this year, coming in at that $40 to $50 price tag. But guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new QCY MeloBuds Pro. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.